semuanya, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to welcome you to this important panel discussion toward a sustainable future driving global partnership for human capital development. In renewable energy and green economy here at Gedung Sate. On behalf of the people of West Java, I would like to extend special welcome to our guest speaker, the Honorable Provost and Vice Chancellor, University of Nottingham, Professor Jane Norman. Thank you. FCDO, Development Director, British Embassy Jakarta, Ibu Amanda McLaughlin, Rector of Bandung Institute of Technology, Profesor Raina Wira Hadikusuma, Reni, forgive me, Bu Reni Wira Hadikusuma, terima kasih. Head of Economic and Natural Resources Division of the Regional Development Planning Agency, Pak Eka Jatnika Sundana, Director of Vocation, Directorate General of Vocational Education, Ministry of Education, Culture and Research, Bapak Dr. B. Distinguished guys, ladies and gentlemen, Science 2021, the University of Nottingham has been a strategic partner of West Java Province. Our collaboration began with the signing of a letter of intent, which culminates in a memorandum of understanding in August 2023. This MOU marked our commitment to reducing carbon emission in the transportation sector through the conversion to electric vehicle and the adoption of new and renewable energy resources. The collaboration between the Energy and Mineral Resources Agency of West Java and the University of Nottingham encompasses a variety of initiatives. This include capacity building on electric vehicle conversion technology and business model for electric vehicle conversion ecosystem and utilization of renewable energy in West Java Province. A joint pilot project on electric vehicle startup in West Java Province. Development of training program to support the improvement of the skill of West Java Province government employee and community. Joint study in the field of electric vehicle conversion and the use of new and renewable energy in West Java Province. West Java Province has always been at the forefront of Indonesia effort to embrace renewable energy and foster a green economy. Our commitment is demonstrated through a variety of initiatives aimed at promoting sustainable development. We are actively investing in renewable energy projects such as solar, wind, and hydroelectric power to decrease our reliance on fossil fuel and reduce greenhouse gas emission as part of West Java commitment. The West Java provincial government has issued Governor Regulation number 56 of 2012 concerning the regional action plan for greenhouse gas emission reduction of West Java province. In addition, we are implementing policies and programs to support green economic principles. This includes encouraging the growth of environmentally friendly businesses, promoting sustainable agricultural practices, and engaging waste management system to minimize environmental impact. We are also dedicated to developing green infrastructure and smart city initiative that integrated sustainable practices into urban development. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today program concept embodies our shared vision for a sustainable future. It challenges us to rethink what higher education, governments, businesses, and society must to do empower our communities to transition to renewable energy. By bringing together academics, government officials, and practitioners, this panel discussion aims to explore the sustainable impact of investment in human capital development and the cultivation of green skills among our youth. This is particularly crucial in areas such as electric vehicle, agriculture, and waste management. We hope that this discussion will serve as a catalyst for deeper engagement and closer coordination among working groups across government agencies, universities, and businesses. It underscores the importance of developing our human capital to prepare the next generation of green leaders and practitioners in West Java. Together, we can pave the way toward a sustainable and prosperous future. Thank you for being here and for your commitment to this vital cause. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.
May stay on the stage for a moment because we're going to give token of appreciation. Therefore, we'd like to invite the Development Director of British Embassy Jakarta and the Deputy Vice Chancellor in Provost University of Nottingham to come forward. Okay, the first one will be given from the British Embassy Jakarta to West Java Province. Okay, and next from the University of Nottingham to West Java Province. Okay, next from the West Java Province to the British Embassy Jakarta. Okay, we'd like to take pictures together for a while. Focus to the camera. Okay, we'd like to take pictures together. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we'd like to take picture with all the audience. And please, all the audience, you can stand on your place. As the proverb says, there are no words as beautiful as prayer, and there are no memories as beautiful as taking picture together. Then we'll allow the photographers to take the photos from the stage. Okay, formal pose. 1, 2, 3. Okay, for information, West Java has a special jargon with hand sign like this. If I say Java or West Java, please kindly respond with Cha'ang. Cha'ang means bright or sign. Again, let's try. Java, Cha'ang. Java, Cha'ang. Alhamdulillah, thank you. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say thank you, Regional Secretary of Java Province, for the coming Regional Secretary to continue other official activities. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to witness speakers from the globe in Indonesia to share their presentation regarding driving global partnership for human capital development in renewable energy and green economy. In this special occasion, we would like to invite the speakers to come forward. The first one, Deputy Vice Chancellor and Provost from University of Nottingham. The second one is the Development Director, British Embassy, Jakarta, Miss Amanda. Next, Director of Bandung Institute of Technology, Professor Reini Wirahadikusuma. The next, the representative from the Regional Development Planning Agency of West Java Province, Mr. Eka Jatnika. And the last one is Director of Vocation, Directorate General of Vocational Education, Ministry of Education, Culture and Research. In this occasion, he joined by virtual. And the panel discussion will be led by our moderator from University of Nottingham as Assistant Professor of Engineering, Professor Bagus Mulyadi. You may have the microphone.
Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sampurasun. I am very happy to be here, not least because I graduated in the best institution, in my view, in Indonesia, and also from the from the city of Bandung. And it's an utmost joy for me to also welcome the British counterparts, and both from the institution of Nottingham University and the government. This is all what this event is all about. So I believe personally that the sustainability is the currency of the future. And I believe that in the future, that would be the language big nations must converse with each other in. And at the foundation to undergird the sustainable future is the human capital development. We're talking about renewable energy, we're talking about zero carbon. Down at the bottom that undergird the whole structure is capable, competent human beings. And I, for one, believe that Indonesia and UK has something to offer to complement each other. Indonesia is, of course, the house of over 50% of geothermal energy. Some of them are in West Java. And Indonesia is a place where you could seek out new medicine, new food, and there's a lot to cultivate. It's the world's new laboratory. And I believe the collaboration has to encompass not only academics or students or institutions that focus on education, but also governments, government officials like you are, NGOs and others. The more, the better. Now, today we're going to discuss this very expansive topic in hope that we can find some blueprints moving forward, that we can identify what skills. Because I noticed there are students here attending, or at least those who look like students. Probably asking themselves, what should I focus on to study to prepare myself for a sustainable future? And in the midst, we have representatives from the governments, from institutions from both countries, and I couldn't be more happy to host this discussion. Now, we only have an hour or so. I'm going to invite some questions in the second half of this event, so do prepare your own questions. And for the first session, I would like to welcome first the Bapeda Head of Economic Affairs and Natural Resources, Bapak Eka, to explain a little bit. So I'm going to put the question from here right now, and then we're going to go on having dialogues. So Bapeda certainly has forecasted 6 million jobs to be developed in West Java. Now, as the host of this event, so I would like to give the floor first to Pak Eka to tell us a little bit about Bapeda's planning point of view, the skills that you think important to undergird the human capital development in renewable energy. Please.
Thank you Pak Bagus. Good morning everybody. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Izin Pak Sekda mewakili Pak Kepala yang sedang tugas ke Singapura. I try to answer the question with another question. When I say West Java is one of the most advanced provinces in Indonesia, would you believe it?
Yes.
Yes. 100%. Biased. Yes, but it's logical. We have the highest, one of the highest GDRP in Indonesia. Investment inflow highest. We have ITB, Unpad, and other IPB best universities in Indonesia, also in West Java. So it's logical if you say West Java is one of the advanced provinces in Indonesia. But maybe you should also know, West Java has 50 million population. So if we try to see the GRDP per capita, actually, do you believe me when I say West Java is below Papua? GDP per capita. Below Papua Barat. We are ranked 26 in Indonesia for GDP per capita. And then, do you also believe me when I say more than 50% of workforce in West Java, the educational level is only elementary school? More than 50% of workforce in West Java, only elementary school. Yeah. So it's not as beautiful as it says, yeah. So, and because this topic is about human capital. Also, the problem for West Java is economic inequality. The GDP ratio is one of the highest in Indonesia. So these are challenges for us. When we try to transition from dirty to clean energy for this topic, for green economy, and we see these problems, we have to try to design this on not only energy transition but just energy transition. We try how to create jobs. Yes, and you say 6 million, maybe it's for the whole Indonesia, yeah? For maybe in 2060. But the latest calculation from Bapeda and from Bapenas and LCDI, there will be 3 million green jobs in Indonesia in 2060. Maybe Indonesia 20% from that, yes, maybe about 400,000 green jobs in West Java. There should be opportunities for jobs and also how to reduce inequality. Yeah, so I think that's the key point for this topic. Not only try to transition energy transition, but also how to create economic system that is just inclusive and try to reduce inequality in West Java. Maybe that's it for now. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Hello. Thank you very much for the set out of the discussion. It's quite a good introduction. Now, you mentioned 3.3 million jobs, right? And I, for one, do not want to reduce the roles of universities as mere producer of labors. I believe that university is a place where you learn how to think, but as a result of being able to think, you then ideally get a job. Now, I'm going to segue into Ibu Raini as the head of the Institute Technology Bandung. Now, 3.3 million jobs isn't a trivial task, and especially specifically in renewable energy. Now, I would like to welcome your view in regards to accepting this challenge. How do we solve this, and what has ITB has done so far? I believe you have a presentation.
Yes, itu
Right.
ada yang buka slide-nya, bisa dibantu panitia.
Can we help the presentation of Bu Reni, please?
Yes.
So,
Ya,
it's loaded, please.
ya. Terima kasih semuanya, Pak Sekda, Bapak Ibu sekalian. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Tadi melanjutkan yang disampaikan oleh Bapeda dan pertanyaan dari Pak Bagus. We prepare this slide of fostering Indonesia's energy transition through academia role. Of course, we have our own role. Pak Eka maybe dan Pak Sekda, you have to work about the Gini ratio, but I work in this area, so I'm trying to give our best from the point of view of higher education. So we have done so much, we have done a lot. Actually, most of our activities in campus, I would say 20-30% is only merely related to teaching, and 70% of our time, our activities are related to central government to promote and be the hub for inter-university center of excellence for two areas. One is for new and renewable energy, and the second is for disaster risk reduction, but not merely on disaster like earthquake or flooding, but how the risk of energy. So these two tasks are very related to what our discussion today. So ITB is assigned by the government to push this agenda. So we are the hub for Indonesia work in renewable energy. So the government give us assistance in buying new equipments, lab equipment, but we have to give output for partnership and then new projects, etc., etc. So that is the other two. And I would also like to mention slide nomor 20 Pak sama 29 ya, because we have a very short time. If you give me time to talk about ITB, we can stay here until maghrib ya. So much to talk about the campus, and I'm so proud of what we've been doing. Nah, we also have two projects very strategic. Yang itu Pak, yang katalis. So this is without the government money. So ITB together with Pertamina, energy state-owned energy company, and Pupuk Kaltim, ya, Pupuk Kujang, we built a fabric manufacturing to produce catalyst, Indonesian catalyst, and now it is in the stage of producing local Indonesian catalyst merah putih. We name it red and white Indonesian flag. So catalyst merah putih, and it substitute imports for catalyst in petrochemical industry in Indonesia. So we are very proud of this. Nah ini udah menjadi pabrik producing di Cikampek Pak. Cikampek ini 3 investor, 3 investor. Pertamina, Pupuk Kujang, Institut Teknologi Bandung. We get like a 25% stock of this company. Now they are in the process of fighting, competing with the big players in this area. So this is what we call hilirisasi research, ya, downstreaming research. This is the phase of the model, ya, and we only have one. This is one success story. And the second one, berikutnya Pak, yang lanjut lagi. Nah ini, ya, Indonesia has so much minerals, ya, sumber daya SDM, ya, SDM-nya sangat banyak, and especially nickel. I believe 60% of nickel in the world is in Indonesia ya, kandungannya itu 60%. But we have to downstreaming the use of nickel with technology, and of course before technology we have to have the people that can do promote the technology, etc. So we are in the process of building a joint research lab with a company in China, namenya GEM, ya, GEM. So this is a tripartite, ITB, Central South University of China, and GEM Indonesia. They put the money, invest the money in our campus in Jatinangor. So ITB Jatinangor, we have a second campus in Jatinangor. Pak Sekda used to be the Bupati of Jatinangor, Pak. Jadi Sumedang, Jatinangor sekarang very active in doing research also. So this is in the construction stage. Insyaallah, end of July we are going to procure equipment, and then we are going to work on technology for mineral. Insyaallah kita punya teknologi mineral, bukan sekedar mengekspor biji dan sebagainya, smelter dan seterusnya. Demikian kira-kira sedikit a brief introduction of what we've been doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bu Reni. Now, before I segue, please give a round of applause. Now, before I segue to the next speaker, can I ask the organizer here if Pak Beni Bandanajaya has joined us online or not? Has joined us online. Okay, so I would like to say hi to Pak Beni. Pak Beni, thank you for being with us. In a setup of your remarks later, I just want to summarize a little bit. So here we have a demonstration of what ITB has done in order to assist the government, collaborate with them, but not only with the government, but also with companies to downstream Indonesia's nickel, and so as to make it more relatable to the job market, etc. Now, speaking of working with the government, now we have Dr. Beni Bandanajaya, the Director of Vocation at Director General of Vocational Study at the Ministry of Research, Technology, Higher Education and Culture. So Indonesian students can have a reason now to be happy because we have government sponsoring student mobility programs. So Indonesian students now at their final year or the third year of their study, they can spend one semester abroad. Now, a lot of universities in the UK, Nottingham included, were hosts of the inaugural ISMA program. Now, behind the great initiatives is also Pak Beni Bandanajaya. Pak Beni, I don't know how much you've listened to the previous discussion, but I would like to welcome your remarks in regards to your department's initiative to support the human capital development in the renewable energy and zero carbon sector. Please.
Okay, thank you, Professor Bagus. I would like to present my presentation. I will share my screen. You can see my presentation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to apologize that I cannot being there in person because I have another agenda that I have to attend in this afternoon, and and then I will talk about the program and policy for human resource development for Indonesia, and especially because I came from the Directorate General of Vocational Education. Maybe my presentation will be related to the program at our department. This slide is about Indonesian educational system is need to be transformed due to the several factors for us. The first, because of the economic changing in the Indonesia, and the secondly, Indonesia social cultural demographic change, where Indonesia estimated will get a demographic bonus at 2030. The third considered that the labor market will change related to the technological and industrial development. And the fourth, or finally, we have a vision of Golden Indonesia in 2045, which has ordered by our President of Indonesia how to produce the excellent human resource. And the Ministry of Education interprets that the excellent human resource can be developed as follows. The first, we develop a program of emancipated learning. As Pak Bagus said, that we send some students to the other country. This is one of our program. We develop an emancipative learning program is how to open the opportunity for the study program or for the university or for the polytechnic to interact or to collaborate with the other external parties. For example, industry or another university, yeah, in country or outside our country. Then the learning model is implemented by the prioritizing the student activeness. So we can apply the project-based learning and case studies. The objective of this method is how to give an activity, yeah, to the student. So the facilitators can guide the student how to learn independently. Of course, we provide the opportunity to the students to have an activities outside the campus, for example, to do internship or student exchange to industry or to the other university. And the lectures become a facilitator. They can guide by remote the student in the long distance, for example, so the student can be better to learn independently at the outside the campus. This slide is so that Indonesia today have a policy to energy transitions. We know that in 2060, Indonesia targeted to have a net zero emission. So for this, the Ministry of Education has set up the programs to support the development of human resource, to be expert in new and renewable energy technology. Yeah, the policy is how to support the development and strengthening the study program related to the renewable energy sectors by establishing the bachelor's and master level study programs at the university or polytechnic. And this is the data of the available study program that exists in today. We have 17 study program at vocational education and 11 study program at the academic education. And this is the study program for specific renewable energy. This is not too much university or polytechnic which has a study program which has a specific renewable energy. So we think that we have to support and develop more about how to develop the new study program for renewable energy. And this is, for example, we have applied bachelor or diploma 4 at Polytechnic Negeri Jember, established since November 2008, focusing on biofuels, biomass, biogas, microhydro, solar, wind power, and the enrolled students is about 476. And this is the other level. We have a master program for renewable energy at Polytechnic Negeri Sriwijaya, established at October 2016, focusing on hydro, solar, wind, and biomass, enrolled in 2020, 2021, there are 35 students, and the alumni already has 82. There are works in several companies related to the new and renewable energy. Lastly, in last 2 years, we have another project with Switzerland. We have the project to develop the new study program or new concentration. Actually, not new study program, but we develop a new concentration at existing study program. This is the information that we collaborate with the Ministry of Energy, the Ministry of Manpower, BNSP, and also Bappenas. So we do the curriculum development. We have teacher trainings, which has a technical training for solar and hydropower, and instructional material development, and of course develop the training methodology, and we give a capstone project, for the student. This is the concept of the program, that to make to provide the human resource for the renewable energy. We have to develop the program of renewable energy. We call it the program of renewable energy sustained development. And this is what I say, that we open the concentration of existing study program, because we want to make this more efficient. So we build or we develop the specialization study at the last 1 years after they study for diploma 3 for several field or for several study program for another engineering. This is we call it diploma 4 for renewable energy, because they only study in 1 year, and they can have a specialization in renewable energy, in hydro and solar technology. And we hope that they can graduate with expertise about the renewable energy, and they can work at the several company which has need for the renewable energy experts. This is the program, for example, how to emphasize on industrial needs. So we develop the curriculum, connecting or from the industrial needs, and also we have framework curriculum for renewable energy specialization. Especially we develop the curriculum for hydro and solar. We have a capstone project where we call it the project-based learning. As I said, that this is give opportunity to students to have a project from the industry to do this project independently, so they can work together with the team, and they can learn about how to solve the problem. And we have the extensive peer learning between RSD sports school and between different departments within school, and multiple ministry intensive involvement. So I said that we collaborate with the other ministry. That's all my information about what kind of policy that we have, so we can discuss about how to develop the human resource to support the energy. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Pak Benny. Thank you very much. So I'm going to go with you, Jane, but so if you see all of these presentations, the previous remarks, the government in Indonesia have overseeing roles over 4,000 universities. I'm not sure if that includes polytechnics or those under the Ministry of Religious Affairs. There's a lot of universities, and it's a subject of head scratching for both the government's institutions, the industries, and the university alike. Now, can I welcome you to shed light into the day-to-day activities within the University of Nottingham when it comes to both preparing students to navigate in the sustainable future and also in our own internal activity.
Firstly, thank you very much for hosting us, particularly thanks to the Government of West Java for hosting us. It's been a real pleasure for me and my colleagues to come and visit and enjoy some of the beautiful scenery you have and cement this relationship between the University of Nottingham and West Java, which is really important to us, and we're really proud of this relationship. So I think the topic we're discussing, that of having a sustainable future, probably is one of the most important topics that is facing the world at the moment. We can't carry on as we are, and we need to jointly work to find soluble solutions to this problem. And that requires having students who grab this problem, who learn about it, and develop brilliant things for the future. And I know you've got some brilliant students in West Java and Indonesia, as we have in the UK, and I'm very optimistic about the future of the world because I think young people are great. So we need to educate our young people, but we also need to use our research minds of our professors and lecturers and bring our great minds together across the world. So for us in Nottingham and you in Java, to think about how we can address these problems, and then importantly, as we've heard, translating the knowledge that we have into solutions that people can use in their homes, that people can use to drive their cars, and that cause us to have a sustainable economy and translate into a just economy where everybody can benefit. So in terms of an everyday activity in the University of Nottingham, we teach students and we learn from them because they challenge us about the importance of preventing climate change, the importance of renewable energy, the importance of a green economy. So we use a lot of this in our teaching, and that's all of our teaching. It's not just our engineering and chemistry teaching. It's all of our teaching. It's important for politics, it's important for culture, it's important for medicine, which is my background. And then, as I said, I think one of the things we're really proud of is we've got a real strong co-location of researchers who are experts in electrification of transport. Nottingham is a traditional transport manufacturing centre in the UK, and transport is really important to translate into a green future, because otherwise we'll continue to push carbon into the air. So we've got a really good cohort of people working on electrification of transport. That's trains, buses, planes, maybe having planes running on hydrogen. And I think what we try and do is not just do some brilliant research and write about it. We try and do brilliant research and help our local businesses make use of that research, come into our facilities, use our facilities, and try out some of our research, make prototypes, and go on and develop their businesses further so that they can produce engines or planes or whatever that help the world, but also help them as an economy. And I think we're particularly proud that we're able to now collaborate with the West Javan government on this, because this is an issue that you're grappling with as well. And as I've said, I think by working together on this, we will find solutions that benefit the whole world. If we make carbon or you make carbon, it goes into the world's atmosphere, so we can't solve these problems on our own. So I'm really excited by this collaboration. We try and get outside Nottingham, we try and get outside the UK and into the world. And I'm very grateful to the government of West Java and also the British Embassy for supporting us. And I think there's so much more we can do together. And I hope in 10 years, I'll still be coming back to visit you, and I hope you'll be coming to visit us, and our collaboration will go from strength to strength. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, well, thank you. Well, I was once a student like you guys. Probably you were thinking, what is all this? So I'm going to be studying and invest my own time and money for the remaining 3 or 4 years of my study, and I'm going to go on to the world, and then we're going to tackle some problems. Is there relevance in terms of what I'm studying in the classroom, the research that my professors are doing, and the actual impact in daily lives and the impact of human beings? So this is probably new to you, that academics and leaders of institutions and governments sit together. Now I want to segue to Amanda here. So from the perspective of the British government, how do you see this interaction going on? What would you like to see happening in the future?
Thank you, Bagus, and thank you also from me for hosting us today. It's so wonderful to be here. I've actually been working in the British Embassy in Jakarta for 2.5 years, but I'm ashamed to say it's my first visit to Bandung. So better late than never, but it's such a thrill to be here. I've heard so much about Bandung, the city, and the history of it, but also the amazing things that are happening in the West Java province, the ambition that is being held by the government of West Java, so it's wonderful to be here. I want to start by just talking a bit about partnership and how the UK sees its partnership with Indonesia on green development and on climate issues. As others have said before me, we're very much in this together. This is not something that can be solved alone. This is not something that has to be solved by certain countries acting alone. We all bear joint responsibility, and we all need to be part of the solutions of trying to improve the situation. And we're very acutely aware of the fact that we have a lot to share as the UK, because we went through a green transition a little earlier. So we have a lot of lessons and techniques to share from how we were able to operationalize that 20 years ago or so, or to start to at least. But we're still very much on that journey, and it is really not very straightforward to be able to create these green jobs at scale, and this is a journey that we're still walking through at the moment. We're also acutely aware that as a developed, industrialized nation, we're part of creating the situation in the first place. So we bear responsibility for supporting other countries who are now at a stage of development themselves, who are naturally wanting to industrialize, to help them to do this in a way that is green and sustainable. So we do very much see this as a partnership where we have equal responsibilities, and we really want to support each other and learn together as we go along. We signed something called the UK-Indonesia Partnership Roadmap in April 2022. This was signed between our Foreign Minister at the time and Foreign Minister Retno, and that set out the strategic relationship between the UK and Indonesia and how we wanted to support Indonesia's sustainable development alongside other things. But things moved very quickly. So if you look back at that document, we talk about energy transition and the need to work together on that, and we have a long-standing program called Mentari that was doing excellent work with the Ministry of Energy since 2019. So that was referenced, but we didn't really talk about anything beyond that. We didn't talk about the just transition. We didn't really talk about coal phase out and moving away from fossil fuels. It was only 6 months after that document was signed, though, that President Jokowi stood up at the G20 summit in Bali and announced the Just Energy Transition Partnership between a number of countries, including the UK. And that announcement was extremely ambitious, much more so than we had imagined back when we signed our roadmap just 6 months earlier. And it's been so wonderful to see the leadership that the President has shown on energy transition and the emphasis on the just side of it, as you were saying, Doctor. So I think this is something that we've really wanted to get behind ever since then. We have committed $1 billion of additional concessional finance as the UK towards the energy transition across Indonesia. However, we know that action and success on this agenda can't happen if you're only thinking about the national level. You have to go down to the provincial level and also think about districts and the local level as well. And this is something we're really conscious of, and we actually have a new white paper strategy, a global strategy that we launched in November, which really emphasizes this notion of working locally, go down to the subnational, work with local organizations, local governments, civil society organizations, local businesses. That's the only way that you're actually going to deliver on your climate objectives. So in that sense, this partnership that we have with the government of West Java and with our friends in the University of Nottingham as well, bringing their expertise to bear, is going to be the critical part of trying to make the energy transition work and try to make it be just. And we really salute the ambition that this government has on the net zero target of 2050, which is obviously more ambitious than the national net zero target. So we are thinking about everything that we can do in terms of building the human capital, facilitating relationships like that with the University of Nottingham to build that expertise for the next generation, to be able to actually deliver the ambition that we've seen from the President all the way down.
Thank you. And human capital development is certainly key, not only in this presidency, but also the upcoming one. If I were a student here studying en route to my undergraduate degree, and then I'm listening to all of these big plans, collaborations, how do I partake in this movement? Amanda, Jane, do you have any insights? So I'm on my third year. There's this great UK-Indonesia partnership roadmap. By the way, for those who are unfamiliar with that, this document set out the priorities by which the UK and Indonesia government will collaborate in the next 2 years, and it will be renewed. And one of the key collaboration points is renewable energy. So that just shows commitment between the two countries to collaborate. But how do I partake in all this? So who wants to go first?
Shall I go first? So if you're a student here, you can apply for the ISMA program, which allows you to come to the university, well, several universities in the UK. Obviously, I'd like you to come to the University of Nottingham and spend some time with us and some time with an industrial partner around Nottingham. And I think we can place you with companies that are on this green transition, companies that are interested in this and doing real-world practical solutions to this problem, and give you a fantastic experience. And I know from Bagus that graduates of the ISMA program go on and do really well in Indonesia in the future. So we'd love to have you on that. So I think that's just one example.
Thank you, thank you. Amanda, you want to come on that?
Maybe just to add, two of the most exciting types of interaction that I have in my time here are either with people who are applying for the Chevening Scholarship, and I've been on the interview panel for many of those, and I am so blown away every time by the caliber of the people who are applying for those scholarships and their desire to work in green jobs and to try to create a more sustainable future. It's absolutely incredible to see the talent that exists in Indonesia, in the youth and in the universities here. And the second type of interactions that's always been very inspiring is with the startup community. So I've met lots of young entrepreneurs who are designing new devices or new small businesses to be able to actually operationalize the green transition in things that I've never even imagined before. And it's just so inspirational to see the ideas that are bubbling up, again, from young people. There's a demographic dividend that Indonesia has, which is all about its young population. So startups and scholarships to the UK are two areas where we can see that ambition happen.
Thank you. Bureni, but I'm studying civil engineering. Okay, I got nothing to do with this renewable energy and green economy. Well, why am I supposed to listen to this?
No, nowadays everything is multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary approach. You cannot solve this complex, wicked problem from one point of view. So we are very aware and understand the new approach that we have to go forward to. I mean, we have to so civil engineering or management, we work together. Yeah, design. So ITB is in the process of updating our curriculum, and the fundamental change is multidisciplinary approach.
Yeah.
And I would like to add Amanda's comment about startups. Starting last year, I mean, we have trainings for startups for many years, but last year we focus on energy related startups, and it is funded by the Pertamina. So we would like to get ideas from students from young generation about how do we solve crisis of our new energy, renewable energy as startup. So because usually startup is making a marketplace platform that is so standard, yeah. So in ITB we push them to think about with the theme of energy. Jadi startup on energy theme and funded by the Pertamina, because Pertamina mission is also to move from oil and gas, natural oil and gas, and then move toward new and renewable energy. So we have a similar mission, and we work together. Yeah.
Yes, it all sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
But according to Pak Eka,
Yeah.
here, not to me, according
Yeah.
to you,
Yeah.
50% of Indonesian in West Java, right, are only elementary school graduates.
Yes.
They
it is the
cannot access
reality.
all of these startups. So,
Sure. Yeah.
so who's to blame? If I can add a bit of drama here.
We have to blame ourselves, I think, including myself. Yeah, it is our homework, yeah, Pak. Not just the government, but every citizen of Indonesia.
What do you think, Pak Eka?
Yeah, thank you. I'm listening to presentation of Ibu Reni and Pak Beni. I'm very happy. So yes, of course, previously I talked about problems and current condition, but we also have potential. Okay. So currently we have 50 million population. Yeah, I think same as Korea, but UK, I don't know UK.
UK has, if I'm 66.
66, yeah.
Am I right?
West Java only 50 million. So similar to Korea, so like managing a country.
Yeah.
And now, more than 57% of the population is millennial and Gen Z. And in the next 20
Like
years,
some of those here.
yes,
in
here. And in the next 20 years, close to 70% of population of West Java will be productive age. So this is a bonus for us if we can manage this very, very well. That's why we need human capital development. It's crucial for us. It's okay. Now for now, still the average workers mostly still elementary school graduates. But in the future, we echoing with Pak Beni said, we have 122 at least high school vocational now in West Java, which is related to green economy, related with renewable energy.
Yeah.
So, and we also have some other also opportunities or potential of renewable energy sources in West Java. We already made some mapping, and we also have some teachers now, teachers development, vocational school, and universities. That must be developed by us.
Yeah, there are two things certain in life. I just made it up, but there are two things certain in life. First is tax.
Death and
The
taxes.
second one is getting older.
Okay. Well,
So, okay, so this bonus demography
Yeah.
will soon become burden demography if you
Yes.
can't find jobs for these people. Okay, so I don't know if Pak Beni, are you still there?
Yes.
So you've
Yes,
listened to all
yes.
of this, Pak Beni. What's going to
Yeah.
happen if in, let's say, 10 years, this 50 million people aging population starts to enter job market, but they couldn't find any?
They couldn't find what? Sorry.
Couldn't find job, much less in the field of
job,
renewable
yeah.
energy and,
So-
and carbon market.
Yes, yes. I think I agree with Prof. Reni that this is not only institution or government or the Ministry of Education's responsibility to make a better life for our people. So in our ministry, we have a job or a responsibility to prepare the good, the excellent human resource. And we have another ministry that preparing where they can get a job, where the work can be developed.
Thank you.
For example, the Ministry of Industry and the Ministry of Manpower. Maybe we can collaborate to make link and match and to make what is it? We call it supply and demand is match, yeah, with the situation of Indonesia.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I'm going to invite participants here. So I know you guys have prepared some questions. All right. Okay. So I should have prepared that better. But you raise your hand first. Yes, in the gray suit. Can the organizer give out a microphone? Like your name and direct to the questions straight away.
Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Sampurasun.
Rampes.
Thanks for giving a chance. It's my honor for me. I'm Kurniadi Prakoso from Human Resources Development Agency West of Java. Mr. Muledi, am I still look like student?
Yes.
If the Regional Secretary West of Java has a slogan Jabar Caang, the BPSDM has the motto always be a learning generations. Every place is a cool school. Everyone is a teacher. So I'm a forever student. The
Question, please. Yeah.
question is, what tips would you give us in the order to better adjust the new way of thinking? Because human capital is important, but the way of we are thinking is more important. Thanks for giving me the chance. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Do you address the question to any specific?
It depends on the host, Mr. Mulya.
It depends on the host.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, all right. If I'm not mistaken, the question is the way of thinking. Let's keep it for now. Okay. I'm gonna go on to the next question first. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. But in the hijab. So, yes. Can you please give the microphone? Your name, please, and the question.
Yes, Kasia. I'm a fresh graduate, but please bear in mind that my question could be very basic because my background is in genetics, so not really into the renewable energy. But yeah, I have been living in Copenhagen and Oxford, and I know they heavily relied on wind power for their renewable energy. Because obviously solar power cannot be predicted in nice way. I mean, the weather is so unpredictable, right? Yeah, so what about Indonesia? I'm just wondering what kind of partnership that may enable a small household to actively contribute in larger scale in renewable energy. I mean, so far I just thought maybe I have commitment to only use hybrid car, for example, because electric car is too expensive for us. But what else? What kind of partnership that we can try to create it to enable participation in larger scale for small household?
Thank you. Thank you so much. One last question before I go on to the, not sure who goes first, but this guy looks enthusiastic. Please. Your name and question, please. Yeah?
Thank you. My name is Hasan Suni. I'm a student from International Women University, and my question is for Mr. Rini. What are the challenges faced in utilizing renewable energy, such as high investment, limited infrastructure, and lack of public awareness, especially awareness student in West Java as a next generation? And second question, how do you see the role hydrocarbon in the future of energy, and how are efforts to provide cleaner energy? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to go to the panelists here. Jen, I'm going to go with you first. Now, if the question were posed to students at Nottingham, or by students of Nottingham, and then asking their professors, what should our way of thinking be in order to respond to or even capitalize on the future that is filled with these jargons?
So I think in a way the professors should be asking young people about the best way of thinking rather than young people asking professors. I think young people have a great way of thinking, and as I say, I'm very confident in their future. However, if you're asking the question, how should we be? I think we should be optimistic about the future because I think the world is grappling with this problem. I think renewable energy will become less and less expensive, and we will all want to change to it. I think we should be ambitious. We've set ourselves a goal for climate net zero, and I know you have very ambitious goals in West Java, which is brilliant. But we need to be ambitious. We need to see that goal, and we need to go for it. And I think we also need to be driven by our values. The issues of social justice in moving to this transition are really important so that everybody can benefit and not just big corporations and particular individuals.
Thank you. Amanda, the second questioner, Mbak Tasya, yeah? mentioned about the UK being prominent in wind energy as source of renewable energy. Now, the first time I met you, I believe we were in West Nusa Tenggara, and we were there because there was a British-sponsored project in regards to renewable energy first. The question was about Indonesia, though, but I guess, can you elucidate a little bit when it comes to what viable sources of renewable energy Indonesia best suited with?
Yeah, so thank you for the question, and it's interesting to hear that you lived in Copenhagen and Oxford as well. Obviously, the scope for renewable energy sources is quite different in Northern Europe from how it is in Indonesia. So it's not going to be the same types of renewable energy infrastructure that we're going to need to build here. So it can't just be a straight, this is what we did in Europe, let's do it here. There has been lots of analysis, though, of different sources and where they could be built. I mean, solar is an obvious one in Indonesia, but it's about finding the land and connecting to the transmission grids, so that's a big undertaking. There is wind potential in parts of Indonesia, I think in southern Sulawesi, for example, but not huge amounts of wind power potential. But the other big ones are geothermal and hydropower, are two other quite big sources with big potential. But in terms of how the household level and what they can do, don't underestimate the power of consumer choice and the signals that you will send as a consumer if we see that on a mass level. So you might feel that it's one household or a cluster, but if all households start to demand that change and seeking alternative forms of energy, calling for it, saying that they want cleaner air, these sorts of things start to shift the dial because it can't be ignored on such a large scale. We talk about the fortune at the bottom of the pyramid. If you look at households as a group, as a mass movement, those choices really do matter, and they translate into political decision making if your voices are heard. So things like demanding better public transport, demanding cleaner air. This is something that's a big issue in Jakarta. I think Bandung won an award in 2017 for having the cleanest air in ASEAN, so maybe not such a big issue here, but the sorts of things that you want to see to be a green consumer but you're not seeing, you need to just be raising your voice and joining groupings where you can raise your voice collectively and ultimately will be listened to.
Thank you. Pak Eka, do you want to jump into the both question 1 and 2?
Yes, thank you. Pak, about way of thinking, yes, I agree. It's the first thing we have to change, mindset. And for this to work, we have to recognize the challenge for the future. What type of skills needed for the future? For West Java, we are now developing a long-term development plan for the next 20 years. And central government already gives some imperative direction to West Java. So for the next 20 years, West Java must be the center of cutting-edge industry, must be the center of excellence of STEAM education, and then the pillar of food security. These three has been mandated by central government for West Java for the next 20 years. So in relate to the way of thinking, of course, in the next 20 years, STEAM education will be crucial for us. And the skill that complement that, such as hard skill in AI and machine learning, etc., and then soft skills such as creativity, teamwork, decision making, and leadership and management skill, and then of course sustainability way of thinking. Sustainability is important. Maybe you know the terms Earth Overshoot Day. Now Earth is becoming more and more unsustainable. So these are way of thinking that needs to be included in the curriculum of your office, I think. This for educating the government official, right? Yes. So these are the key skills that are crucial, I think, for not only the students but also the government officials.
Okay.
Because this office work as government official. And maybe to respond Bu Kaisa ya, Kasya sudah lulus? Fresh graduate, okay. So tapi fresh graduate you already in Copenhagen and Oxford ya. When I was your age, I'm still in Sumedang, so yeah. You are very much advanced. So yeah, just to echo what Amanda has said, of course, when we talk about household level action in terms of renewable energy, government already have some scheme to help that. Maybe not household, but like small businesses. There's some subsidy, etc., to install what was it, solar panel, something like that. But maybe in household level, we don't really need to talk about investing in renewable energy, but maybe energy efficiency, I don't know, genetics, yeah, maybe in waste management, how to reduce waste, maybe circular economy, and how to work in other sectors that aims to reduce emission and our carbon footprint. I think it relates to everybody. Yeah.
Okay,
That's it.
all right, thank you. Last question to Bu Reni, directly at you. So challenges.
Ya, tadi kurang jelas tapi I'll try my best to answer your question. So, a new renewable energy, I'm not the expert, but there are so many experts in Indonesia, young and old, and new ones that going to learn more. Tadi Bu Keisha dan semua termasuk Anda sendiri gitu ya. So we have so many new opportunities. For example, nuclear also already in the national Bappenas program ya Pak ya. Nuclear. So of course it's not nuclear yang meledak ya. A new generation of nuclear, much smaller, renewable, much more safe. I mean, of course safety is number one, etc. And then biomass, and then what else? Geothermal, carbon capture, etc., etc. So you need to learn about this. Yeah, we promote this kind of strategic national topics that young generation should learn. Please don't play YouTube, TikTok too much. Yeah, you have a lot in front of you for your own future. Kayak gitu Pak, kira-kira ya. So you can come to ITB, any other universities, but please study for your own future. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I teach fluid mechanics at TikTok if you want. Never mind. But not too much. Kidding. Okay, last set of questions, but I would like to welcome from the British counterpart in the audience. I know you raised your hand before, and you, sir, as well. So can the organizer please give a mic to Pak Ian first?
Terima kasih banyak. Thank you very much, Pak Bagus. Ian Betts, British Chamber of Commerce. British Chamber of Commerce in Indonesia has very active hubs in smart cities, sustainability, net zero, carbon capture. We have genetics and life sciences as well. What would the panelists' advice be and recommendations to the private sector, members of the Chamber of Commerce in Indonesia, for example, seeking to support these initiatives? How can they support the initiatives that we've been talking about today with Nottingham, with ETB, and with the government of West Java? I'll leave it there, Pak Bagus, and that's an open question.
Thank you. Very good, concise questions. So, sir, please.
Hi, sorry, my name's Nick. I'm interested in thoughts, having heard a number of your views. In my opinion, there seems to be a manner that certain areas would cross over. So where you were talking about the GDP, you're talking about the availability of education to a certain number of people, the uneducated, and whilst we're talking about renewable energy, as opposed to going to the far ends, from a green perspective, a sustainable perspective, what's the feasibility, in your opinion, of those individuals who maybe aren't fortunate enough to go to higher education, to be educated by people from higher education, have a policy that fits within the ESG, CSR type scenario, where the best practice that's available that can be introduced into Indonesia, talking about maybe the way that people within a kampung could utilize disposable commodities, so recycling plastic to make plastic roof tiles or plastic flooring. I get it, they're not going to be able to do that within the village, but through an engagement whereby people who are receiving this higher education, who've got the ability to be able to direct those who are less fortunate, and then look at how they could implement best practices of, say, passive use. So ultimately, if the standard of the building that is being made needs less energy, then those people who are of a lower income have got less expenditure in the need for an AC. I mean, we stood in a building now that was built in the early 1900s. Unless I'm mistaken, there's 4 fans, and there's all of this number of people, and yet the temperature in here is bearable. You know, you can't feel the humidity. Sure, things have moved on. You can bring techniques, as you were saying, from the West. You can put down membranes. You can improve the abilities of the walls, the roof, to reduce. You can teach people how to use or better use vegetation, reduce the impact. The aspects that you get, Musim Hujan, you know, where we're getting landslides and people are dying, and as the representative of the embassy said, you know, the West has been through this previously. We went through the Industrial Revolution. Kids age 6 were used as chimney sweeps. Here, you know, kids age 6 are going to go and help their parents to farm the rice field or whatever activity it is they're going into. But if there was a potential to educate those people, for them to understand that by retrieving what would have been sampa, using old clothing that can then be recycled and made into renewables to benefit them, there's a lower scale but probably a higher impact, while all of the other things that you're talking about are also being worked upon, in my opinion.
Thank you, thank you. Well, I share the sentiment, and by the way, I do feel the humidity. Like inside all this, all sweat. This is very tight. So, anyway, but the first question is an interesting one. How do you get the buy-in from the private sectors, or how do you rather encourage the involvement from private sectors? Because believe it or not, these are very important key actors in achieving all of this. Now, I'm going to leave it free. Anybody who have a take on how do you encourage the involvement? Please, Amanda, go ahead.
I would just say, please don't give up on Indonesia, because it's not, at the moment, the environment, the context for investments in renewables is not so clear, because of some of the ways that the regulations have been designed over many, many, many years, that you're very familiar with. And so for new investors coming in, what we've found is that it's been really challenging. And so the onus is really on policymakers to try and redress some of the balance towards renewables investments, and that is starting to happen. And maybe it's slow, and maybe it's going to take many, many years, but just please don't give up, because that journey is starting, and I think we're starting to see more and more openings, and our job is to help you understand what's changing and do the matchmaking between British and other companies and where the opportunities are arising over the next few years, and just helping each other to stay the course for Indonesia, rather than think, this is just too difficult a market, let's go somewhere else.
Thank you. You want to add on to it?
Yes, I mean, I think if I was running a private sector organization, I would think, well, this is the future. Renewable energy is the future. So it's like standing, I don't know, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and saying, do you know what, that computing stuff, we're just not going to bother with that. That's a really crazy decision on economic terms if you are running a private sector organization. So this is the future, and I think private sector organizations can either become part of this, get ahead of the curve and be part of the economic benefit that will come, or they can stay behind, pretend it's not happening, watch their businesses, I think, have real difficulties. And going back to young people, I think young people increasingly not want to be part of any carbon generating organization. So it's going to get increasingly difficult as a private sector organization if you're not on this bandwagon, or not on this journey, to recruit good people, to have people buying your products, and as I say, economically, it just doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Thank you. Now the last question is a good one, the sentiment of which I share, because we talk about all of this thing. What's the feasibility or even the impact to those underprivileged? I mean, there's also a little bit that Pak Nick elucidated about, different areas have different way of working. You see some people respond to the climate very differently, and we understand that. But the most important question, which I want to throw at Pak Eka or Ibu Reni here, is how do we make sure that all that we are discussing at the high level, relate to those underprivileged in the villages? They have problems about waste, plastics, those kind of problems. So how do we make sure that all of this relate to them? Any of you want to tackle that, please?
Okay, but thank you, Pak Nick. But before I respond to Pak Nick's question, I'll try to short respond to Ian's question. Nice to meet you, Pak Ian. So West Java Chamber of Commerce is also one of our main partners when we try to develop a development plan. We talk to them a lot, and now we are aggressively pursuing green investment through like incentives, both fiscal and non-fiscal, how to invite or try to get green investment from foreign and home country. And for example, for vocation as well, Kadin or West Java Chamber of Commerce is one of the main actors in developing the plan for vocation to improve link and match. So we work together a lot with West Java Chamber of Commerce. Look forward to learn maybe from British Chamber of Commerce on how your dynamics of communication with government. And to Pak Nick, yes, I think it's echoing my initial point, how this just energy transition must address inequality issues in West Java. That's why the silo way of thinking, maybe related to Pak's question, need to be scrapped. We need to have a holistic way of thinking, regenerative principle of the earth. That's why in our program we try to develop the concept of circular economy, circular economy approach, which comes from understanding the problem, waste, plastics, and other types of waste. We try to involve private sectors through CSR and through their investment. Let's say one of the big brands of soft drink, we involve them how to train people to collect waste in a environmentally good way, and then how to recycle, how to clean. And so it's also useful for the company, so they can get the good quality for the recycled product that being used again for the production. So that type of approach that we take, the circular economy, and it's already included within our development plan. Also with the implementation is with people from environmental agency and industrial agency. This type of approach has been developed by us. Hopefully it can move further.
Thank you. Bureni, do you want to add to that?
Okay, thank you. We allocate a substantial amount of funding for community services activities, and the activities most of the time is related to energy, water crisis in most remote areas of Indonesia. And when we are going to do that, we are trying to get more partners, local partners, to fund such activities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sure we can talk and stretch this conversation for another 1 hour because we're running out of time. And I do believe, just to bring the thread of the discussion together, that this kind of conversation needs to be emulated to the scale and frequency that will result in well-informed policies, because eventually these good, modern, well-informed policies is really what affects people's life directly day by day. Okay, so now we have a gift, I believe, right, Shannon? So while the panelists are still here, we're gonna give a gift from the University of Nottingham to attending panelists, and we take a session of photos together. So Very good. So could we take a photo together? Yeah. Do you want to give that gift from? Okay. Anybody else? Ibu Yulia, would you care to join us for photo? Okay. Thank you so much. So there is another gift also for Ibu from Jane. So we can take one photo together. So just make sure we've done our job properly. All right. Okay, and let's take a photo together. Look at the camera right as I welcome you back to your own seats, so I would like to thank you again for the participations. I'm very happy to be here and hope to see you again in a very soon future. So, can I give this back to the moderator, please? Oh, there she is. Thank you.
Okay, please give applause for our speakers today. It is such an amazing discussion that we did just now. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now we'd like to listen closing remarks that will be delivered by the representative from Energy and Mineral Resources Agency of West Java Province, Mr. Jainal Arifin. The floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Profesor Reni Wirahadi Kusumah PhD, Rector of Institut Teknologi Bandung, Dr. Benny Bandanajaya, Director of Vocation, Directorate General of Vocational Education, Ministry of Education, Culture and Research, Professor Jen Norman, Deputy Vice Chancellor and Provost, University of Nottingham, Amanda McLaughlin, Development Director, British Embassy Jakarta, Head of Boards, Agency and Bureau within West Java Provincial Government, representative from cities and or regencies government within West Java Province, representative from central government, university, vocational school or center student, and all guests and participants attending today's great event. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. What a great day for all of us. We would like to express our gratitude to all counterparties contributing for this amazing discussion toward a sustainable future, driving global partnership for human capital development in renewable energy and green economy. Thanks to all partners, all panelists for the great insights, and also to all participants for being active today's discussion. As we know, green economy and energy transition implementation, especially through renewable energy development, is one of the main issues and objectives that should be accelerated, not only in national level, as it has become the development main target to achieve net zero emission by 2060, but also in sub-national level, including for us, West Java Province. And to achieve those targets, it's clear that the human capital development plays an important role, and it should be implemented in more collaborative ways, and we did and understood today through our discussion. Today, we got inside the challenge related to the sustainable future can only be overcome when we focus our effort not only by investing for the green infrastructure development physically, but also by investing in our human capital. Both should be implemented in parallel, and the partnership and collaborating movements between governments, business, academia, societies, and media, globally and locally, will be the key in helping us to achieve our green development goals. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, finally, there is still a lot of effort that should be done by us as a provincial government to achieve green economy and energy transition objective in West Java. Hopefully, through today's amazing discussion, some of our tasks and efforts that have been done before can be adjusted and improved. And in the future, we together can set and achieve the national and ever faster. Once again, we would like to express our gratitude to all counterparties for this precious event. We wish you all are having joyful and productive day, and let us meet again in the next collaboration. Thank you.
Well, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful series of activities that we did just now is the end of our station today. Thank you for your kind attention. Enjoy your life, stay healthy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day.